And we are live. Welcome to episode number 4 of the Walmart Sellers Failed podcast with my co-host James and my new friend Joey. We've been going back and forth. This is the first time we've ever actually talked in I guess, is this in real life or is it? No, this is.
Yeah, it's close enough.
Close enough.
Hold on one second. I have a weird echo. One second. Oh,
okay.
That was the creepiest thing ever. I heard my voice over there, and I was like, I've gone schizophrenic or something. I forgot that I was logged in on the other station. So, anyways, man, Joey, one of our like gripes with other content on this stuff is, I think people go for like the flashy people with the giant followings and like and all that. What we really want to do is just like talk to like people actually doing this crap, like practitioners. And I've seen some of your stuff, like, and I'm actually a part of one of the Discord you're in or something, and they I've seen you know your crap. And so when we were talking about who we wanted to have on, I was like, let's see if this guy will come on and chat with us. So you're doing Walmart, you're doing Amazon. You want to tell us a little bit about like your business and like catch us up to where you're at now?
Sure. I spent the most. I've talked about it on a couple pods. I spent the most of my life running restaurants all over the Southeast. That was kind of my real life job and career. I did that for from the time I was 15 until I was 42. Started doing Amazon in November of 2021. I had a buddy of mine that I worked with in Jacksonville, was coming into work every day. He was like showing me screenshots, orange bars, crazy. He had been doing it for a while at that point. He had been, I think, into it for a couple of years. So he had fun during COVID and all that good stuff.
Sure.
So we were, obviously in the middle of Q4. He was like, now's the time. It's a great time to get on. So I set up my account. I had my first sale like middle of December that year. I didn't really do too crazy. I did a lot of things different, I think, than most people. I did not really network with anybody. I did not use Keepa. I just used the app. I didn't sell anything with variations. Like if it wasn't ranked, I wasn't selling it. It was pretty much anything better than 200,000 that wasn't a variation.
Same.
I also didn't try to get ungated on anything. I wasn't spending capital on anything. Like if they didn't want me to sell it, I was just going to keep it moving. I didn't realize after the fact, probably took me a couple months to realize that some brands, after you start building your account, will automatically approve you. So then I just started growing a little bit. I think when I got the bug was February of 2022. So it's like 3 months in. It was over President's Day weekend, I think. There was a vanilla extract that was at one of my local discount grocers, and he had pallets of this stuff. And it was like, whatever. And I started reading about it, and the rank was like 6,000. I had never seen anything ranked that high, but it had a whole bunch of variations. It had like a 32 ounce, a 4 ounce, a 16 ounce, a 2-pack, a 3-pack, a 4-pack. I was like, oh, whatever. So, and it was glass, so I didn't really want to mess with it, but it was $3 and it was selling for like $27. And I was like, why
That's
not?
some good money.
So, so I bought 40 of them, and I drove home and I sold 25 before I got home.
Ooh.
So I turned around and I went back and I bought like 10 cases, which was like 80.
Yep.
And the next day I sold like 60 or 70. So I bought the whole pallet and I sold like 450 orders over the weekend.
Nice.
Amazing.
Friday to Monday, I think I can't even remember off the top of my head, but I think I netted like $7,500 profit in like 4 days.
Ooh,
Yeah.
And I was like, man, if I could just sell this for the rest of my life, like it's the only thing I need. And then of course, like 4 days later, I got the dreaded letter, cease and desist. But they gave me 5 days, so I went and bought another pallet and sold it for the 5 days. but that kind of opened my eyes to like, wow, you know, what was capable. And, so then I started growing. I started learning. I did the OA challenge with Chris Grant. And he kind of talked a lot about networking. So I got on Twitter, started kind of, talking to different people, meeting people, obviously joined a couple Discords. I joined TSN, the Sellers Network, which I've been in for a couple years, I think. And then I was in the OA VIP with Chris Grant. And then last year they merged with the Buy Box. So I'm now in the Buy Box. And then I think in February I started being a moderator for them. Now I'm part owner of the Buy Box. So, cool. I'm doing a lot of stuff. But I started Walmart in January because I got deactivated on Amazon with an IP complaint.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we were in the middle of a big coal sale. So I had just dropped about 25 grand in about 4 days.
Wow.
And I had just sent it all in. And I was supposed to, and the only reason I went that deep was I was supposed to get paid on Saturday. And I think my check was like 30 grand or something like that. So I was going to get paid. So I was like, I'll go a little bit deeper than I normally would. I'm about to get a big fat check. It's coming out of Q4. I got money and I don't really have a lot of debt in the business. So like, let's just make it happen. And then Saturday morning at like 3 a.m., I wake up and I don't know why I was awake, but got up, go to the bathroom, and I look and I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? So it was an IP complaint. Took me, 8 days to get my account back. And it was, definitely a big learning process. But during that time, I think I listed like 200 items on Walmart. I got my first sale. I was able to scale from zero to about 25,000 a month within about probably like 3 months. But I put a lot of effort into it. And then obviously I got my Amazon back. I had to kind of lean into that to kind of use the capital and the profit from there to grow the Walmart side. So now I am hoping by the end of Q4 to be closer to 50-50 mix and probably lean heavier into Walmart going into the beginning of the year. That's what I hope anyway. So, it has definitely taken some focus off Amazon, but it's just so hard to leave the data. You feel so much more confident going deeper on items. So I think I'm down about 15% on Amazon, which is, I think, like 50 grand, something like that. But I think by the end of this week, I'll crack 200K on Walmart for the year. So
nice.
So it worked out. My business is up, and definitely have more avenues. I did some eBay stuff too along the way to create some capital with some collector stuff that I kind of, do, like knives and guns and old school wrestling figures and things like that. So eBay's kind of like my little fun zone that I do, but I try to do it all. So
don't get James started about guns. He'll nerd out on it. I asked him one time just on an off kind of, hey, what do you think about this? And it was like 36 messages.
Yeah, sorry. Not
and
sorry.
References. So
hey, it's passion, man. Okay.
Yeah.
You like what you like, yeah.
You're gonna get me canceled on Instagram though.
All 200 of your followers are gonna unfollow you.
Yep, absolutely.
If I haven't got banned, I don't think anybody will.
What the coolest thing about hearing your story so far is that you didn't use Keepa for the first little bit. I actually ran a Bolo group for over a year before I ever had Keepa or used it. And you don't know what you don't know in the beginning. You should have Keepa absolutely from the beginning. But it's possible, like people are like, you need Keepa and this and this and this and this and this, and then you can get your first sale. And then you hear some guy, on a Walmart Sellers podcast, and Joey's like, yeah, we were doing like 30 grand. We were just kind of guessing. We never undated anything, never had any softwares.
Yeah, I think the big thing was like it's all about variations, right? Like if you don't have variations, you can just go by the sales rank. If sales rank and average sellers and, yeah, sure, it looks good to look at the Keepa chart and be like, okay, the offer count's steady, the price is steady, whatever. But at the time, like my margins on RA, I mean, obviously you guys know, I mean, I average like 40%, gross margin. So, I mean, when you're looking at things like that, the last thing I'm thinking about is like, oh, I got to cut my price to make money. Like, no, I'm just going to make the money I want to make and ride the wave longer. Which, I mean, I still do that to this day. Like, anything that I FBM or that is a replen for me is 90% never getting repriced. I have a set buy cost. I have a set sell price. Like I'll wait. Sellers come on and off the listings. I'll just wait it out because I know I'm going to get the money in the long run. So
I'm in the same boat with FBM. I don't reprice. I want what I want, and that's it. I'll let it sit on the shelf. I don't care. The FBA stuff, I have a repricer, so I don't really worry about it. But I totally get what you're saying. And even with the Keepa stuff, I didn't use Keepa until my 2.5 years in. So it's you build a system, right? Like it's got to have some reviews. It's got to have a sales rank under some amount, and then there's got to be a couple other things. And really, I didn't really use it until COVID hit, and they were doing all those high price error deactivation stuff, and I was like, whoa, I guess I should figure this out now. And half of what we do, I mean, I do mostly toys, so you kind of figure out like, okay, this is gonna sell, and half the time the sales rank doesn't even matter to me. And same with Walmart, no reviews, I don't care, I'll take a chance on it. I know that's gonna sell. That's hot right now.
Yeah, I think the other thing too is, for me, I did a lot of grocery, so like, what do I need? It's gonna go like. Very few things get split off of a parent ASIN, or, you might have a protein bar that's got 12 flavors, but, you can use common sense, like peanut butter is going to sell, cookies and cream is going to sell, things like that. Now I think, I don't know what I would do without Keepa. But I mean, I'm heavy into apparel on Amazon. I mean, my average order value on Amazon is, or my goal anyway, is a little over $50.
Nice.
Do a lot of apparel, do a lot of, that kind of thing. And I use it all the time. I mean, when you're selling clothes and you can buy things and move it within 30 days, it's ranked 1 million that, nobody else is going to touch. Like,
yep.
I get on that stuff all the time and have success with it.
So are you doing a lot of apparel on Walmart then as well?
No, so I kind of had a different mentality when I started Walmart. I felt that my Amazon business was a little stale, but I felt like I had got to the point where I kind of knew, right? Like I know what it's going to take to do 50 to 60,000 a month on Amazon and just push it out. I don't have to source a ton of units. I know that, I can hit up Ross, Marshalls, whatever, and I can make it happen. And so with Walmart, I wanted to try a lot of new stuff that I hadn't done before. I felt like, yes, it's a new platform, but things that were going to be, I didn't need to get ungated in, or were going to be super easy. Not now, but when I started. So I started with toys. I definitely tested a bunch of apparel because when I got deactivated, I had a ton of Kohl's inventory, and I was looking around and I was like, man, I had sent about 1,200 units in, but I had about 500 units sitting in my house. And I was like, I hate returning stuff. Like, it's like a passion.
Same.
So I was like, I could return this and I might need this money, but I could also just sell it on Walmart. So I just listed everything on Walmart that I had at the house. So I do some apparel on Walmart. I'm testing a lot of stuff, especially like A2W, like Amazon to Walmart flips with Flip Alert. I had a one-on-one with their fashion people out at the summit. So I know, I got a little insight into some of the categories that they're looking to expand upon. and also some stuff that they don't want you to sell. But I would say toys, I would say home goods, things that I've never, from ceiling fans to water filters to, pool filters, just all over the place. I think I'm probably, I would say 60% toys, 75% sourced from Walmart.
Yeah.
And I think the one thing that I'm lacking that I'm hoping to is just more consistency. Like I'll have days where I had a day a couple months ago, I did like 5,500 bucks. I was like, never even thought that was possible on Walmart. And I average about $800-900 a day. So I'm hoping to start breaking, steady 4 figures over the course of Q4 and push it. I think I'm having a good little run to start Q4. I think I'm on like day 3 or 4 in a row of like right around 4 figures, but I've been sending a lot of units in too. So, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I like the fact that I was, trying to get ungated. What's going on? It was so easy to get ungated when I first started. I was like, I want to get ungated on this and this and this, and like things that I never even bothered trying on Amazon, whether it was LOL, things that were already restricted, LOL, Levi's, Dockers, or like new stuff like Star Wars, Legos, things like that. So those things are all like, obviously they're going to sell on every platform, and then I started finding like little niches where, okay, the price is 10 to 15% higher on Walmart. So I'd rather take less sales and more profit and push it over there, less volume. And that's why I like Scan Power a lot, because I can compare the platforms at the same time on the same scan. So
yeah. Are you finding yourself splitting inventory a lot if you see that 10%, or are you just going buck wild, sending it all to Walmart?
It depends on how deep I'm able to go. Like I have found myself going, like if I get like 200-300 units of something, then obviously like I'm going to send, 100 to Amazon, because in my mind, that's going to get me my initial investment back between the cost and the profit that I made. And then the other 200, I'll just let trickle through, not really trickle through, but I'll let sell on Walmart 10 a day versus selling 25 a day on Amazon.
Yeah.
And that'll give me more consistency with the sales as well. So kind of like a win-win.
Totally.
That's strong. I made probably the biggest unit purchase for Walmart, the biggest bet that I've made so far. The other day while we were on our trip, we went to one of the stores we shop. It was kind of out in rural Alabama, and they had something that I'd sold before, and it sold well, and they had just a crap. I think we bought like 80 something of them, and we were real happy about it. I think it's a good bet, and so you go deep when it makes sense. I know that's not deep to a lot of you. I saw Noah on here, and so he's doing I think $200,000-300,000 a month or something. Me going 80 deep on something is probably not that impressive to him, but to me, it was a big bet. And so I think you almost have to have your own data before you feel comfortable putting a bunch of people into one.
I tell everybody that asks me, I'm like, listen, every sales estimator out there is just an algorithm that somebody made. And listen, there's some good ones like, Martyr, obviously those guys over at Nepeto are great, but it's an algorithm where they're just comparing verified reviews with the amount of reviews on Amazon and gauging what they feel like is estimation. And I've seen it be pretty spot on, but I've also seen it be way as off as 200-300% off.
Yep.
So your own data is always going to be your best bet. And I mean, I think I tell people that, I feel like I missed out on kind of the Wild Wild West of Amazon of like 2018, 2019, 2020. And I'm getting to enjoy that a little bit on Walmart. And it is frustrating and definitely want to pull your hair out sometimes, but that if you'll actually stick with it and just push through, like a lot of sellers aren't going to do that. They're just going to
Yep.
stay on Amazon, and it's going to give you the opportunity to grow your business way more. And, you know, it's nice to be able to get on a listing and see like 3 or 4 sellers versus like 40. You know, obviously they're onboarding a ton of new sellers and things like that, but
Yeah, they're
you
coming.
know, yeah,
But even the gated categories too, like you were talking about earlier, when we started, right, you could ungate something in a week. Now it's a month and a half.
oh yeah,
So
if you're lucky.
yeah, so being in those categories too is also kind of a benefit for Walmart because you at least have a month and a half before all of these new sellers can be able to
Well,
hop
and
in.
I think it's going to get worse in Q4. So it's like,
Oh, absolutely.
you know, this might be not necessarily your last time to like run it up and really crush Q4, but if you're ungated in, you know, toys and like every brand, because there was so many brands of toys that I had to get ungated on.
Same.
You know, whether it was Disney or Star Wars or Lego, and even, you know, like, you know, if you're not in tune enough, or like, I mean, now it's a little bit easier because you get I think they call it an incubation agent or whatever to kind of help you out, but I never got that. And, you know, but yeah, cases, I mean, I'm waiting on I got approved to sell Squishmallow in April. And I've
That's
opened
wild.
14 different cases because they never went active. I got units sitting at WFS. I've spoke to like actual people. And then I got re-gated in a couple of SKUs of Pokemon after selling, like, you know, so it's just one of those things, you know, like I think earlier this week somebody was like, man, half my listings unpublished. I'm like, that's just Walmart, man. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, but you got so many things coming from Amazon, whether it's like Section 3 or deactivation or, you know, high price error or geographical restriction, like, and there's absolutely nobody to talk to. Something happens to your account, and that's your, you know, like, I think that's my, like, one of my unpopular opinions is like, man, I almost wish I would have just left it as a side hustle sometimes, like, you know, because the stress that it involves, like running a business, owning a business, and it's your livelihood, and it's putting, you know, food in your kids' mouths, and, you know, clothes on their back and a roof over their head. Like, there's a lot of added stress that people don't talk about, like
100%.
that, you know. And I mean, I'm fortunate, like my kids are grown, like they don't need me. I mean, maybe they do, but, you know, not from a financial standpoint. So, you know, but it's stressful sometimes, especially when you talk about the lack of customer support from Amazon. So, like, I think that's one of the things that Walmart really leaned into heavily, that they talked a lot about. And one of the reasons that it's just taken so long is they're just so behind staffing because of how many people they brought on, how many sellers they onboarded between Q1 and Q2. So I think if you don't get approved by the end of October, I don't think you're getting approved for a brand until January, if you're lucky.
Totally agree. Yeah, for sure.
Well, they're kind of chasing their tail too with all the issues they're kind of bringing up by trying to modernize everything as well too. Like, when you never know too, like that shit could happen again. And then
we talked about that a little bit at the summit. Was it seems like they want to lean into third-party sellers because that's going to grow their platform. They want to lean into 1P and private label stuff because that's going to grow their platform. You know, they want to compete with Amazon, so they want to do everything that Amazon can do, whether it's multi-channel fulfillment or, you know, all that stuff. They're going to partner with FedEx versus UPS. That's great. But that's a lot, right? Like, I mean, even if, you know, you're Walmart, I get it, you understand, but then you throw around like, oh, we want to be the lowest price possible. You know, I'm all for that too. But I think, you know, they rolled out multi-channel fulfillment. They didn't tell you that you need to enroll, and it's only available in certain distribution centers. Like, it's only available at like half of their distribution centers. The other half don't offer it. So if you send the stuff to the wrong, you know, like if you know, and so many times I've sent WFS inventory in, and they're like, oh, this is the wrong center for that. Like, we got to send it over here because it's like oversized or something. I was like, well, I'm just sending it where you told me to.
Yeah.
So I think, I know they want to grow, you know, and rolling out Canada, Mexico, and Chile in a 3-week span. But so yeah, there's growing pains. I think they really shot themselves in the foot when they went with the old look and new look seller center. Like, obviously people that have been on the platform don't want new things. So you should just go to the new thing, right?
Yep.
Instead of giving us the ability to go back and forth for 2 months and then taking it away.
Yeah.
Because after 2 months, people are like, oh, it's never going to. And then it was weird because, like, sometimes you could add stuff on the old look, but it wouldn't update. Then you add it on the new look and it'd work in like 5 seconds.
Yep.
Yeah.
Growing pains.
So, yeah, it's going to be. I mean, I don't see them digging at themselves out of it in the next 18 to 24 months. Like, it's going to be a long, I don't want to say painful, but it's going to be a long process for them getting stacked. Yeah, it's going to be painful for us. I don't know about them. They're just going to keep raking in the dough and doing what they do. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, one thing you said, that's just Walmart, and we have a Discord that we run that has a bunch of Walmart resources in there. Like we talk about Walmart stuff all day, and a lot of times the answer is just like, yeah, that's just Walmart. You got to make a case, and there's this huge need to like constantly defend yourself against them. Like, you have to double check your units, double check your shipments, double check everything, because they want to grow so fast and they're swinging for the fences, but also like a third of their workforce are just idiots, like just like the lowest way.
I had to cancel my first order ever last week because I had a random unit seller fulfilled that I never even sold it seller fulfilled.
Known issue, and they will not fix it. Known issue.
And then the funny thing was, I had to cancel it, and the next day 3 sold WFS. I was like, yo, y'all are killing me.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
that's just Walmart, right? Make a case.
For the longest time, people thought I was crazy when I talked about not being on the platform after 9 o'clock. I'm like, listen, Walmart after dark, you do not. I'm like, Walmart after dark is no joke. I told them at the summit, I was like, they thought I was crazy. I said, this is what you guys need to do, right? Since the platform sucks at night, we can't do anything. I was like, how about you reopen 24 hours, but only third-party sellers can get access from like midnight to like 6 in the morning. And we can just go shop, right? That's all we want to do. We just want access when there's nobody around. I can do my scan and go. I can upload it. I can pay. I can do my tax exempt. And I can go get in and get out. And I don't have to answer questions about why I have 8 grocery carts.
It's a great idea. It's so crazy that Walmart is this big that we are literally sourcing from the head of the giant Walmart machine, and then we're just moving down and selling the same stuff as the third-party seller on this thing that they've built. Like, it's all Walmart. You get your Walmart receipt to get ungated to sell back on the Walmart.
It's just like, I mean, how many of us knew about A to A for the longest time? You know what I mean? Like, until I joined the buy box, I didn't know, A to A was a thing. And then using a flip alert, I'm like, this is great. Like, between, sourcing, for Amazon to Amazon flips and price errors, now I'm throwing in, Amazon to Walmart, and they're rolling out Walmart to Walmart next month, I think. So that's a big part of the business as well. To be able to walk in, and there's definitely things that I know that I'm walking in and I'm buying and they're losing money on. 100%. But then if I'm going to resell it, they're going to catch that 15% at least on the back end.
Yep.
So I feel like it's a way for them to at least make a little bit more money. I just hope as they start to grow and they have to outsource some of the customer support stuff, because they talked about, creating like a online chat and stuff like that. I'm like, listen, like, we're all about that. I was like, but it can't be AI, right? Like, the thing that you guys got going for you is that we're talking to people, right? I remember when I first ungated stuff, whenever they replied to my ungate, it was the same person. Like, and it would have the guy's name, right? So like, if I had an issue with that brand's ungate, I just reply to that email and say, hey, listen, these 4 SKUs are not working all my other ones are, and boom, 15 minutes later, all 4 SKUs are active.
Yeah, a
Yep.
human helps you figure it out.
Yeah, you know, like that aspect of it, I hope they know what they have and that value. You know, I think at the end of the day, like they have an opportunity to, like, you know, if they need to recuperate, you know, I think plenty of people would pay the $40 a month, right, to help them like generate some revenue to continue to offer the same
Yeah.
customer support that they had 6 months ago. Because not that it's bad, it's just slow, right?
Yeah.
Like, but the customer support, like in February, right, compared to now, you know, is insane. Like the gap. I mean, 2 months for an ungate versus before. I mean, I'd have stuff within 3 days live.
Yep.
You know,
It's
And that's
funny
with
that-
the 48-hour wait time for it to
Yeah.
publish too.
absolutely.
it's funny that we titled this what we titled it, and there's gonna be people that are like they're like, I'm gonna learn how to sell on Walmart. I'm gonna get excited about selling on Walmart, and they're just gonna listen to us talk crap about Walmart for 30 minutes.
Hey, listen, it's great. I mean, I get, you know, one of the things that we were talking about, like how you decide to which platform you put it on. I mean, if it's same price for same price, I'm getting 5 to 8% more margin off of Walmart.
Sure.
You know, because their fulfillment fees are cheaper.
Yeah.
You know, so if it's same for same, and then if I want to compete with Walmart, I tell this story all the time. I had an item, I had 200 units. I got it real cheap. And Walmart, it was like a bestseller item, right? Walmart was at $19.99, I think. So I just matched them. Like, I'm not going to undercut them. I got no, you know, so I sold like 4 or 5 seller fulfilled. So then I sent like 200 in. Now I sent 700 into Amazon, like whatever. So in about 6 weeks, I think I sold 40 units. And I was like, that's weird. Like, why would I sell more seller fulfilled than Walmart fulfilled? So one day I got bored and I was like, you know, boom, I'm going to cut the price 50 cents. So I dropped it to like $19.49. I sold 140 in 3 days. Sold out, completely out of stock. Like Walmart gave me the buy box. They moved all my units, and you know, literally was selling 60 a day for 3 days and just gone.
Amazing.
You know, so like they definitely don't have a problem sharing the buy box, any of that other stuff that, you know, compared to Amazon.
And they probably have more of an incentive for a third party to sell it, because they're getting 15%. If they're only making pennies on their normal grocery sale, like it would make sense for them.
Oh, you got to think. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like I'm sure they have a labor and they have all that other stuff, but you know, I mean, what's their net margin every year is what, like 4%? I mean, I got a buddy that used to work at Walmart, and some of their stores have 11% loss for theft, like 11%. You know what I mean? Like they have some stores where they have like on-duty police officers, stuff like that. Like, you know, like just, you know, every time I buy like a big giant Lego, I'm like, who the heck's taking this? Like, why's it got this freaking security thing on it? Like, we're not sticking it down our pants, right? So, and now they're ripping out all the self-checkouts. Like that's their thing. But I haven't seen any extra people go to like scan you to get out. It's just a longer line. I'm like, y'all are crazy. I'm only coming to shop at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Only one of my stores in all of my routes that I run, only one of them has stopped self-checkout so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a process. They got, what, 4,500 unit or stores. So,
yeah.
But I mean, I heard that it's company wide. They're going to get rid of them. So hopefully the scan and go will stay. Because very rarely do I go in and actually get 100 items. So,
yeah. I like scan and go.
What advice would you give somebody who's a successful Amazon seller? They're rolling with, you know, the Amazon punches on placement fees and God knows what else is coming. But they like Amazon. They're making good money with it. They want to get started selling on Walmart. Like, what advice would you give that person?
So, I mean, I'm obviously against like capital investments and credit cards. I'm not a big fan. So I would just say start setting aside a certain amount of your profit every month. And, you know, you probably have SKUs already that you can go through and either scan with DataSpark or Geppetto or whatever. And, you know, look for those badges, you know, whether it's, the bestseller badge or in 100 people's carts or whatever, and start testing, because it might be things that you already have access to, but you limit the amount that you buy because of what the movement is on Amazon, right? Like I might go deep, even if I go deep on something, right? I'm not in wholesale, so I'm not trying to go too deep because I need my capital back, right? So I might go 45 days deep on something, right? But now with doing Walmart, I might go 60 days and I might send 25% to Walmart, so you don't have to actually invest a ton of capital to start building your knowledge and building your test buys. I have found that test buys in the 5 to 10 range are better than 1 to 3, because I think I average about 18% of my orders are multi-unit. And I don't know if that's just what I sell or what, but it's been pretty consistent for me for the year. I know people that are a little bit higher, and I think you're going to see that more in the under $15 range. I mean, listen, under $15 moves, right? People say like, oh, what moves? Like under $15 can move massive quantities, and like at the end of the day, just think about what you go to Walmart for. Where do you go? You're going to buy shampoo, right? Like just as many people that, have access to Amazon. I mean, they both do the same volume of sales, right? They both do about 700 billion. Just Amazon's all online, whereas 600 billion of Walmart's is in the store. Plus, Walmart's been up, 30% 4 quarters in a row, double-digit percents 6 quarters in a row in the U.S. marketplace. Amazon might be up more from a dollar standpoint, but I think they're only up like 4.5%. So, like the opportunity to grow your business, and why would you not do some test buys if you're going to get 5 to 8% more margin?
Yeah.
Like we're in a business, right? We're here to make money. So if you sell 100 units a month of something, send 10 to Walmart and see what happens,
Because you might be all of a sudden buying 300 for the month, send 200 to Walmart, because you never know. It might move twice as fast.
Yeah. I mean, and then the other thing too is with hedging your bet like that, your Amazon business probably gets more profitable because you're not as concerned about price taking, because you have units moving on Walmart at a higher margin. So you can wait out a price tank of a couple bucks here and there. Walmart does tax exempt, so you can register your Walmart business account. You can, order online. There's so many different options. I mean, the deal days start tomorrow, right? Well, if you're in Walmart Plus, you get access at midnight. So I get access 12 hours before everybody else, So, I mean, my goal is to spend $5,000 after midnight tonight before I go to bed. So,
yeah, for sure. I actually just posted that about the Walmart deal days, like right before we got on, because it's huge. If you're able to look at a deal like either a Walmart sale or some kind of Black Friday sale, that type of thing, where they're just marking the price down, obnoxiously, like it's a good idea to look at it. You can make so much more money with less risk, because now you're scanning it twice. You're looking at it for Amazon, but you're also looking at it for Walmart. And it's not just the ability to sell on both, but, in the back of your mind, if you're scared to go deep on one because you don't want to get stuck with all this product, if you can sell it on both, you have that much more confidence, to buy something. And
definitely.
so
And with the deal days too, if you're Walmart Plus, you can see the price beforehand. So like, I think you can start seeing the price, I think at like 10 o'clock. And then you can start buying at like midnight, something like that. I don't remember. But not only do you get access, but you can see the price of what it's going to be, and obviously, like, I mean, we talk about it all the time. Like, I don't even think about price tanking on Walmart, because, the way they do their clearance and the way they do their online blowouts, like, you basically just have to wait for the price to rebound. That's going to happen. Because, I mean, I bought the same item, online for $25, in store for $15, in another store for $5, knowing that they all sell at $60. So at the end of the day, I'm making my money. you know.
Sure.
So
That's awesome, man. Well, James, what else do we ask this guy? We got him on here. We're getting close to time. We got to get him back to dinner and his family and whatnot. What what do we need to talk about for Walmart? And also anybody watching, we'll look open for questions in a second too. But well, I mean, anything on top of mind for you?
Can you walk us through like your buying decision for Walmart? Like what sparkles that little inner thought that says, I know this is gonna sell?
so obviously, like the lower the price, the better. But I mean, I like the Walmart shopping app over everything.
Same.
Because if I'm in the store, I want to know what the actual price is, not what the sticker says, right? Because there's so many times where you can scan the shelf and it'd be one price, you can scan the UPC and it'd be another, and the sticker will be another. So I like the in-store mode for scanning. I like to see that there's other third-party sellers on there. I'm a big fan of listing all new brands in the store to find out if I can actually sell it or if it requires an ungate, which is a little cumbersome on your phone, but it's doable. I think I probably tend to lean towards this time of year. I definitely lean towards items that I'm already know that I can sell. So if I know that I've sold it before and it's at that price or lower, then obviously that's great. If it's a new item, I'm looking for bestseller badge. I'm looking for in 200 people's carts, in 100 people's carts. I don't always look at the strike through price, right? Like Walmart's famous for putting a crazy amount, like, oh, I think they have some Cleopatra doll on sale right now, right? $38. And it says like the strike through price is like, oh, it goes for $99. But if you like go through and look, like nobody's selling it at 99 bucks, right? So it could look like a really good deal, but you really got to kind of go through and look at, what other sellers are on, how many sellers are on it. I'll look at Martyr and look at price history. I think that's an important tool that Martyr does have. Because I'm really a fan of that on ScanPower. ScanPower lets you see 30, 90, 180, and 365-day average price through a toggle button. So I really like that function. I'm looking for reviews, but it's hard because toys don't really get reviews, right? So if I'm doing toys, I've had a bestseller toy that had 1 review and 3 stars, but I was selling 20 a day of it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Lately, I've been loving Target, man. Like Target has a line of Target only stuff. You do have to take the little sticker off that says Target only if you're going to FB it or WFS it. But items that are not available from Walmart are crazy margins. And then also think about what's going on in the world, right? Like what's coming up. You got Lion King live action movie, right? You got Sonic live action movie. You got beginning of next year, you got Minecraft. You're going to see all those things spike. Next summer already is the new Jurassic World stuff is coming out. Crazy stuff on those. If you have things that are co-branded, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Transformers, right? They got those out right now.
Yeah,
those are banging. But I'm a big fan of boring, like doorknobs, right? Like everybody needs a doorknob, So I think you got to find that balance. But I'm also a fan of high-end stuff, right? So like technology, whether it's like a digital camera or a computer monitor or anything to get your average order value. Because I think for me, Walmart is very consistent under $20.
Yep.
But you really want to add other things to your catalog so that you're not out here trying to source 3,000 units a month. Like that's a challenge. You know what I mean? Like, I've done it. Listen, I did a test. I sent in 2,800 units in April and 2,800 units in May, and I did not source Walmart for 2 months. I just went right back to Amazon, and I did 25 grand a month with 0 shipments, like just the stuff that I sent in. So I know that I can source heavy and send it in, but I also want to do more than 25 grand a month, right? Now, I source those in a short amount of time, low price point, go deep, whatever. So, I think there's the opportunity there. I think there's just so much opportunity. So when I see that it's not, there's a Bolo out there. I'm sure everybody knows about it right now. It's a little doll, but it's not available for pickup and it's not available for delivery, right? So if you see those items and you see that, there's only 1 or 2 sellers, or when I scan something and it says out of stock online and I hit product detail and it says, then that's a no-brainer as well. That's a seller fulfilled. I'm listening in the store and seeing how many I can sell. And then I know that you guys, I don't know if you guys do it in your group or not, but the stock checkers, obviously.
Man, that was a huge addition for us. Like, the feedback that I've gotten on that is like, just stop everything else and just keep doing this and we'll keep paying the subscription. Like, people are so excited about the stock checker.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're going to do RA and you want to actually plan your day, I really think it's a huge. I actually had a coaching call with somebody earlier, and I talked about how to plan, like how to maximize your time if you have a full-time job, right? Like, sure, you want to scale and maximize your time, but you still want quality of life, still want to see your kids. Like, if I can make a route with a stock checker and I know that this store is going to give me $200 in profit, this store is going to give me 3, this store is going to give me 4, I can make my route, and I might find other stuff while I'm there, but I'm keyed in on 10 or 15 different Bolos for myself that I've cultivated myself. Maybe I found 1 or 2 from this group, or maybe there's a sale going on. I think I love the export feature. I'll run 15, UPCs. I'll export them all. I'll put them into one Excel spreadsheet. And then I'll just start going and pick and choosing, like, okay, how many units are here? How many units are there? And like do a little math. And like by the end of the day, within about 3 or 4 hours, I'll have every store in Orlando mapped out. And I'm going to go hit the first, start with the stores that make me the most money.
Yep.
And I'll work my way backwards from there. And then generally speaking, the stores that weren't making you the most money will make you more money a week from now when they're mark their clearance down again. I think that's what, don't just go out and buy stuff for the sake of buying it. Stick to your price point, stick to your margin goals, because it might not be a buy now, but a week from now or 2 weeks from now it will be. And just kind of, get in touch with your with your clearance managers. I tell everybody, if you're doing RA and you don't have a business card, you're missing it. Hand out a business card. It doesn't have to be fancy. One pocket's got to have business cards. The other one's got to have $10 Dunkin' at Starbucks.
James talks about skipping the 50% and waiting for the 70%, but I'm not as good at that because I don't get in as many stores as I want to. Like, I want to do more. I just run out of time. And if I see something at 50% and it makes sense, I might not make it back to that store for another 6 weeks or something. And so a lot of times I'll go ahead and grab it. But, James is I
like to buy the 50% and just hold it because,
sure, yeah,
like, it is what it is. I mean, and then a lot of times what I'll do is, I probably shouldn't, but like if I find something that's like really cheap and I'm like, okay, I bought 20 of those at $5. Well, now I can buy 20 at 10 because at $7.50 I'm still, I'll just average the price.
It averages,
like average it out. Like, okay, I mean, I think for the average Joe that's working 9 to 5, like the stock checker can literally change the game. And what do we want to buy back? We want to buy back time, right? That thing, even in my business, I mean, even as a full-time reseller, like if I know that I can hit 3-4 stores and I can make a couple grand a day, then I'm not going to try to force myself to hit 8-10 stores, right? Sure. I'm going to fill up my van and call it a day.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Oh, hey, a couple questions for you. Noah was asking some earlier. First off, he said this podcast should be called "Dudes with Backwards Hat" and James. So James, you gotta get the hat in. With the deal days, he says, are you sourcing for Walmart to Walmart or Amazon to Walmart? With that.
So obviously, I'm going to use Flip Alert a lot because Prime Day start on the same time, right? So I'll probably start tonight with Walmart to Walmart and Walmart to Amazon, because the one thing I do like about Walmart is there's not really order restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Now, Flip Alert's rolling out Walmart. Sorry, I just saw that question. Flip Alert's rolling out Walmart to Walmart this quarter. I don't know if I think it's coming before the end of October, but don't quote me on that because Saul might stab me. But they've already.
That's a sharp dude. Saul, I kind of went down a rabbit hole and watched like a bunch of the stuff that he's done.
Oh yeah, he's smart.
Man, I gotta level up with.
That's why. Hey, listen, that's why I'm in the buy box. I mean, obviously, like I love those guys, but you got to surround yourself with people much smarter than you.
Sure.
And sometimes I feel like I'm in kindergarten talking to those guys, but at the end of the day, it makes me better. But yeah,
that's like Chris Grant. You talking about Chris Grant earlier? Like, so me, like circa I guess 2022 or something. I was his fanboy. Like everything that he put out, I did the OA challenge multiple times. Like I watched so much, because I run a bolo group, so like I'm actively looking for deals, and like I have people that are actively looking for deals, and so like learning, like he taught. There was one thing that he taught that I use every single day now. And I don't know, don't talk about it. Like go watch all of Chris Grant stuff, and anybody watching, you'll figure out what it is. But I mean, he said he just offhand just said one thing, and I do it every single day. Like for years now, I've done it every single day, and like that's so powerful. Like you're right, being around smart people, and they just say stuff, and you're like, oh crap, that's genius.
But yeah, so what I was gonna say is Walmart doesn't put order restrictions on you like Amazon does, right? So when you're doing one of the things that I think prevent people from doing 8A the most is that, they're like, they can't wrap their head around just buying 3 of something, right? Because like in that scenario, you got to find like, 5 or 6 deals every day to to make it worth your while. But what I found is that it's easier to find higher price point stuff doing it that way. And I'm not as afraid to take a risk of buying 3. But with Walmart deal days, I'm not afraid to buy 50 or 100 of something on Walmart, and I know that it's shipping. I don't have to worry about a cancellation. So if I want to buy 100 of something and I want to send all 100 of it to Amazon, I can.
Sure.
So I think it's really a fine line on. So the frustrating thing with Amazon, obviously, is like how long they hold your money for, right?
Yep.
So it's like, I can push units there and they're going to move, but I'm not going to get that money for 28 days. If I'm lucky. So I try to balance that, because like I can push sales through Amazon all day long, but then I'm going to run out of capital and I'm just going to be sitting there basically twiddling my thumbs until I get paid. But I think definitely doing both is going to be where it's at.
Hey, side note on that, talking about Amazon, has there always been deferred sales on your payout? Do you guys know that just offhand? Because I got to looking at my
deferred
payout
transactions.
You're talking about business customers. Yeah.
Is that new or is that
same thing on Walmart?
I have $2,000 of deferred transactions, and I clicked on it. It said it can be 30 to 45 days before I get paid. I was like,
it's all the business customers that you say when it says like business transaction or business whatever. That's like what it is.
Yeah. I've had that as high as like $8,000 before.
That's I've never seen it, so it kind of freaked me out. Maybe I have seen. Maybe I've never like processed that I was seeing it, but I saw it today and I was like, it has a little info box. So I clicked on it. It said 30 to 45 days. Like, I'm gonna go out of freaking business. I'm gonna be waiting tables.
The thing is, you can download a report and it'll tell you when they're going to credit your account, whether it's like 30 or 40, but it's usually 30 days. Walmart has the same thing now.
Yeah.
So with the business customers,
just take whatever money.
The way they're displaying it is new to me. because I only ever remember it being the invoiced orders, and that I think they might have separated them out.
Got it. That's probably what it was.
Yeah, because I have a little box around my deferred transactions where the little like what is this question mark that says new. So I think they might have like I know it's been there for a while, but I think they called it something different, or it was like bundled into invoiced orders or something like that.
Makes it feel a little better. Shows what I know. Well, Joey, man, we can find you on Instagram and Twitter. It's Joey Wheeler 72. Is that right?
There's a little R in there. My middle.
Oh, Joey R Wheeler. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
And also, you've mentioned the buy box a couple of times. Do you have a link, or I know you're co-owner. Like, is there a link we can share with the video or something like that? We don't get any kickback, but I mean.
Yeah, I can send you a link. I mean, we're all over the place right now as far as I got a link for the buy box. We just rolled out our Q4 offering. We're doing a big Walmart push. We partnered with Chaz and Walker Resell. A couple, I think they both do in the millions on Walmart. So we just rolled out a Q4 group. So you get like 3 months of the buy box with that. You get access to all four of us, weekly calls. You get access to Flip Alert for 3 months. Like, you get a ton of stuff. I think a $2,000 value, but yeah, I can send you a link for the buy box.
Yeah, we'll put it below this, and then if it's before that date, like people be watching it hopefully for years because we're going to be super mega famous.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Joe Rogan style. But if nothing else, they can follow you and find you that way. And
yeah, absolutely.
I'm in the buy box. I haven't. So I was paying for it for months and months and months after the switch. And then I finally messaged somebody and was like, hey, can you put me in? And I haven't actually looked at a lot of the stuff, but I've heard it's great. So, that's as big of a glowing endorsement as I can give.
Yeah, the best feature that I think nobody takes advantage of is you get 4 30-minute coaching calls a month for free.
Oh, wow.
So you can sign up to talk to Saul or me, or, we have people that do wholesale. We have people that do a lot of apparel. We have OA. We have RA. We really have a great, I don't want to like toot our own horn, but we have a great team of people. And I don't think you'll find a large group like that. There's over 10 of us, and it's just really about helping you in your business. Like, it's no egos, it is what it is. Like, we're going to tell you either if I told somebody before, like, I have no idea, but I'll find somebody that does, you know what I mean? Like, that kind of thing. So, I've learned a ton, and, I've only been in there, 10 months maybe.
That's awesome, man.
So, but yeah.
Well, thank you for doing this. I'm sure it helped a lot of people. And if nothing else, they got to listen to us complain about all the talking about some of the negative stuff. But
absolutely.
If you ever make it up this way, let's do coffee or lunch or something. I'd love to take you out and talk shop.
Yeah, let me know. I'm down. I'm all over the place. I tell people all the time, like, I travel like nobody's business.
Just don't come sourcing up here. Just keep your trailer in.
I'm actually getting ready to trade in my truck. It's gonna be a sad day. I'm finally upgrading to the high top cargo van. I'm hopefully gonna upgrade in the next couple of weeks. So this is putting me behind. So
you getting the Sprinter, or which one are you getting?
Either the Cargo Master or the Econoline. Like, I'm not spending money on the Sprinter. Like,
not Sprinter money.
Yeah, I'm not. The only thing I'll spend money on that is my Harley. So
our next big, we have 6 kids. I don't know if you know that, but our next big purchase that we're saving up for is we want to get a Sprinter. My wife is like dead set on it. Like, we're
one of those little mini Ford buses, like the diesel bus. Like, it's got like 12 seats in it.
I want so we had a Nissan NV 3500, and that is just, I love that car. But you can't find them anymore because they're discontinued. And when you do find them, they want like $60,000 for them. And so, but we'll see. But that's our next big purchase, is to get out of the Yukon. My 11-year-old is the size of me. So if the rest of the kids keep growing at that rate, we're not going to fit in our car anyways. So
yeah, my problem is I fill my back seat up too fast. So when it's hurricane season and I'm traveling, I'm renting a U-Haul trailer everywhere I go just so I can bring product home. And the last time I rented one, I guess there's an overload in Florida. So I was in Texas and I rented a 6x12 trailer one way to Florida, and it was like $500.
Jeez.
And the previous year it was only like 120.
At that rate, just buy your own, man.
Yeah, I was like, and then I was like, man, I was gonna put a camper shell on my truck.
I have
And I was
one.
like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. But I'm gonna miss my truck. It's so nice. Like it's fully loaded. It's like the only new thing I've ever bought in my life that I can remember. But it is what it is. It's you got to make decisions for your business. So
Yeah. I agree.
Growing pains. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, hey, thank you again. I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. All right, I'm gonna take off the live. Hang out just for a second with me.
yeah, for sure.